Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. Doesn't want to slide too easily, but it breaks in. And that's using the Hello Ladybug and the Ladybug Builder punch that goes along with it. I'm bringing in a circle punch just to make the finger knots. You don't have to, it just makes it easier. I'm using Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, those are 3 of the new in colors, and Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm also using a scrap of this Sweet Sorbet cardstock and a scrap of black cardstock, a little scrap of gingham ribbon. I have a piece of cardstock that is 9 by 5.5 inches. This is thick. A piece that is 4 1/8 by 4 3/4. Piece that is 3 by 4, and a strip that is 1/4 by 4.5 inches. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, and I think I've covered all of this, so let's bring in our scoring tool. Can you see that? I think so. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is on the 9 by 5.5 inch piece. We're going to put the 9-inch side at the top, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do the 1/2 inch on this side, and then I'll flip it around. Score, not cut. Come on. 1/2 inch. We're going to turn it around, and we're going to go to 4 3/4. I'm going to move these. They're in the way. 4 3/4. Score. Okay, then we're going to go in at 1 inch. And we're going to put this down. We're going to bring our cutting blade to 3/4 of an inch. You'll see those marks here. And I'm going to cut down to 4 3/4 of an inch. Okay, then I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to scooch it down to 4 1/4 inches. I'm going to do the same thing. It's already at 4 3/4, so I'm going to scooch it up to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. Open it up. That is the base of our card. Put this aside for a minute. We're going to bring in this piece, which is 4 1/8 by 4 3/4 inches, and at 2 inches on the 4 3/4 inch side. Did I cut this wrong? I think I did. Let me get my... Yeah, okay, hold on, get a piece. That should be 4 3/4, and that's 4 1/4. 4 3/8. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so we need it to be 4 1/8. Let's do the 4 1/8 on this side. By 4 3/4. Okay, and then we need to, at 2 inches, we're going to move it to 2 inches, and we're going to, from 1/2 inch, zoom in a little, I don't think you're going to be able to see anyway, so, and then we're going to cut all the way to the bottom. So it should look like this. Okay. All right. So those are those 2 pieces. We're going to bring in our bone folder. And we're going to fold this line here. I probably should wait to do this till after I stamp, but this one here. Okay. And make sure these are, I'm going to bring in, this one because I want to cut just a smidge off this end, just so that it fits. So just a smidge. And that's just so when you go to fold this over, it doesn't bow too much. I might need to trim just a hair more, but I think I'm going to trim just a smidge more. Much better. See how it doesn't bow it? And again, I just tiniest little smidge. Alright, now I'm going to bring in a Stampin' Mat. And scrap paper. I'm going to keep this is the top, this piece here, that'll be the back. And I'm going to bring in the Tahitian Tide. And this little stamp here with the 3 flowers on it. We're going to stamp all around the edge. Go right over where you cut, that's fine. You're not going to see most of it, but you might see some of it, so I think that's good, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp one there just so there's some there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now let's close this up for a minute. We're going to take this piece, we're going to open this up, and this small flap from the inside is going to go through that slot and then through the slot on the bottom. See how that goes? Okay, now we want to push it all the way over this way. And we're going to make sure it's down where it needs to be. Then we're going to pull it all the way over supposed to slide. Come on, slide. There we go. So we know where we need to stamp. We're going to make a little bit of a, just a little bit of a tick here. The pencil so that we can erase, just so we know where we're going to be stamping. We'll pull this back out. Oh, wait, not yet. I want to do something else first. That's why I said push it all the way over this way. And then this piece here, the 3x4 inch piece, we'll get adhered down here. It's going to fit right in that little slot. And I think I got it too big, so did I cut this one wrong too? Yes, I did. Should be 3x4 and it's 4 1/4. Forgot to trim it down. I'm looking at it thinking something isn't right here. Batting 1,000. It should be 3x4. Okay, so now when we slide it in here, come on. And when this is pulled over, you're not going to see any edge this side. And when it's pushed over this way, you're not going to see any edge on this side, or very little. So we're going to draw a line, just a tiny one. Make sure it's square. A little bit, just make a little mark there. Okay, all right. Now this isn't sliding too well. It will once it gets moving. I think what I'm going to do is take my snips. And I'm going to just snip just a teensiest little bit more, just to make it so that it slides a little bit better. Let's try, see if that helps. Oh, definitely. That makes it slide so much better. Okay. All right. So now we can stamp on these ones. Now on this piece, we're going to bring in this leaf and the parakeet party. I'm going to ink that up. And on this side, we're going to stamp that leaf. Okay, that's all the parakeet party we need. Now we're going to come in with those flowers again. Ink them up. I'm going to stamp one down here, some down here. Okay. Done with those two colors. Now we're going to come in with the sweet sorbet. And the flower. We're going to stamp one flower up here. It's going to go some into the other frame. Stamp one over here, so it's part on this frame, part on the other frame. And if we pull this over, we're going to stamp those other two. to stamp one here. Well, there's actually just the 3 of them. Okay. Then we're going to come in with this little stamp here, and the Memento Tuxedo Black. We're going to stamp the centers of these flowers. And set this aside for a second. I'm going to come in with this one. And on this panel, we're going to stamp one flower up here towards the top. You want to stay down that 1/2 inch away from that section, so we'll stamp it right about there. Then on this panel, you don't have to stay down because that whole panel will come out. So I'll stamp one flower here. I'll stamp another flower here. Okay, we're done with that. And we'll do the centers of those 3 flowers. Okay, then we're going to come in with the hello. And on this panel, we're going to stamp the hello twice. We're going to stamp it once up here. Oh, I did that wrong, but that's alright, we'll leave it there. This one, if you want to stamp it like this one, it should be 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom. I need to do the hellos on this one, so since that one's up there, we'll do this one a little differently. Yeah, we'll do one there. And one over here. This one should be down here. And I think it should be fine where it is. Okay, and then we'll do the My Friend. And we want that about here. And then on the leaf, we're going to stamp It's a Good Day. I'm going to stamp that right in the center of that leaf. Perfect. Okay. Done with those. Still need the black ink. I'm going to come in with my Ladybug Builder punch. And I'm going to punch out those leaves with the Sweet Sorbet ink. They're leaves, they're the wings of the ladybug. Okay, then I'm going to come in with these spotties. I'm going to stamp those spotties on these wings. Perfect. That's all the stamping. Okay, then I'm going to come in with this black scrap. I'm going to punch out the body. Of the ladybug. And the last thing I need to do is on the base here. I need to take my circle punch and I'm going to go in and punch out the thumb hole. So I'm going to try to center it between these two. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to punch out half. I'm going to close it up. And I'm going to punch out the other side. Okay, so now we can assemble this card. Get all these stamps out of the way. Oops, just drop one on the floor. Alright. Now, let's assemble this card. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is glue this piece right here on the front of the card. You could probably use a thinner paper for this piece. I just used the thick because that's what I had out. I just basically used a piece in the scrap. Okay, so that goes there. Then we're going to take this piece, and we're going to do like we did before. We're going to go from the inside. Yeah, from the inside, the little flap is going to get tucked through the slot, and then through the other slot at the bottom. We're going to push it all the way over to the one side. See how it is there? You want to make sure it's not over the too close to the edges, because then it won't slide. Okay, so make sure it's centered in that spot. Then we're going to bring this 1/4 inch strip in. I'm going to put glue on the back of it. And at this bottom edge where there's the two pieces, we're going to glue those together. I'm just going to put that strip there to glue it together. Okay, so now that should slide back and forth. Okay, so now we can put glue on this 1/2 inch strip. Whoops, don't want it there. That would be bad. There we go. We'll close this piece over. Close this piece over the top. Okay, now we're going to assemble our ladybug. We're going to bring in some dimensionals. I'm going to put one on the back of each wing up towards the top. There. I'll get glue on my fingers now. Take these backs off. Adhere this onto the ladybug. Flip it over. Let's add a dimensional or two on the back of it. Okay. Ladybug is going to go on this piece here that slides. And the more you do it, the easier it slides, but it sticks just a little bit. You might want to make this card just a tiny bit narrower. Ladybug's going to go right there. And on this piece I brought in a regular hole punch. And I'm going to punch a hole right in the center of this little loopy there. I'm going to bring in my ribbon. From the front, I'm going to poke it through. I'm going to poke these tails through the loop. There's my pull. You can trim those off. And there is our card. Now you could add some more. You could add some embellishments, but I wouldn't put them only on this layer and on that frame because It'll get in the way for pulling it. So it says, hello, it's a good day. Hello, 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 my friend. Well, thanks for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.